Welcome to AI True Crime and our first special series, Mysteries on the Menu, where we'll be serve up stories of crime, intrigue, and the dark side of the culinary world. I'm II, your guide on this journey into the unknown. Today, we're diving into a case that shocked a city and left a permanent mark on one of Los Angeles' most beloved food institutions. Zankou chicken, a name synonymous with mouth-watering rotisserie chicken and that unforgettable garlic sauce, became the center of a chilling family tragedy that no one saw coming. On January 14, 2003, what should have been just another day in sunny Toluca Lake turned into a nightmare. Bedross Iskenderian, the head of the Zankou chicken chain and a man seemingly on top of the world, committed an unthinkable act. He shot and killed his mother, Marguerite, and his sister, Zovig, before turning the gun on himself. Why would a successful businessman, part of a family that had built an empire from humble beginnings, descend into such darkness? Was it the weight of family pressure, control over the Zankou legacy, or something even more sinister? Mental health struggles, family tensions, and a tangled web of secrets all come into play in the story, but even today, the true motives remain elusive. In this episode, we'll explore the events leading up to that tragic day, the aftermath, and how the Iskenderian family has carried on in the shadow of this horrific crime. We'll also look at how the restaurant chain, despite the scandal, continues to thrive in a city that still craves its iconic dishes. So, grab a seat and get ready to dig into the story of the Zankou chicken murders, a tale that proves that even in the world of comfort food, darkness can lurk just beneath the surface. The Iskenderian family's story begins in Armenia, where their roots trace back to a time before the upheavals of the early 20th century. As Armenians living in the Ottoman Empire, they were part of a community that faced significant challenges, particularly during the Armenian genocide of 1915, when the family, like many others, was forced to flee their homeland. Seeking safety and new opportunities, the Iskenderian family relocated to Lebanon, which had become a refuge for many Armenians fleeing persecution. In Beirut, the family began to rebuild their lives. Varks Iskenderian, the patriarch, was born into this environment of resilience and adaptation. Growing up in the Armenian community of Beirut, he learned the values of hard work, family, and perseverance, traits that would later serve him well in business. In 1962, Varks, along with his wife Marguerite, founded the first Zankou chicken restaurant in Beirut. The restaurant quickly became a popular spot, known for its flavorful rotisserie chicken and distinctive garlic sauce. The success of Zankou chicken in Beirut was not just a testament to the Iskenderians' culinary skills but also to their ability to create a sense of community and comfort through food. As the Lebanese Civil War erupted in the mid-1970s, the Iskenderians, like many others, faced the threat of violence and instability. In search of a safer and more stable environment, they decided to emigrate once again, this time to the United States. They settled in Los Angeles, a city with a growing Armenian community, where they saw the potential to replicate their success. In 1984, the family opened the first Zankou chicken in the United States, in Hollywood, California. The restaurant became an instant hit, drawing not only Armenian immigrants but also a diverse clientele who came to love the authentic flavors and welcoming atmosphere. The family expanded the business, opening several more locations across Los Angeles. Throughout their journey from Armenia to Lebanon and eventually to the United States, the Iskenderians carried with them a deep sense of cultural identity and pride. Their success with Zankou chicken was a reflection of their ability to adapt and thrive, even in the face of significant challenges and dislocation. However, this story of resilience and triumph would later be overshadowed by the tragic events that unfolded within the family in 2003. The early years of Zankou chicken in Los Angeles were marked by rapid success and a growing reputation as one of the city's best spots for authentic Middle Eastern cuisine. After relocating from war-torn Lebanon to the U.S., in the early 1980s, the Iskenderian family opened their first Zankou chicken restaurant in Hollywood in 1984. From the outset, Zankou was more than just a restaurant, it was a place where the Armenian community and other immigrants could find a taste of home. The combination of savory rotisserie chicken, wrapped in crispy skin and seasoned to perfection, paired with the now legendary garlic sauce, drew crowds from all over Los Angeles. The restaurant's no-frills, family-run atmosphere resonated with customers, who appreciated the focus on quality and authenticity over glitz and glamour. As word spread, the Iskandrians expanded their business, opening additional locations across the city. Each new restaurant maintained the same commitment to fresh ingredients and traditional recipes that had made the original Hollywood location so beloved. By the early 1990s, Zankou chicken had become a staple in Los Angeles, attracting not just locals but also celebrities and food critics who praised its simplicity and flavor. According to Food and Crime by Chris Garcia, the success of Zankou chicken during these years was a testament to the Iskandrians' work ethic and dedication to their craft. However, behind the scenes, tensions were simmering within the family, exacerbated by the pressures of managing a growing business. These underlying issues would eventually contribute to the tragic events of 2003, when the family's personal struggles spilled into the public eye. Despite the later turmoil, the early years of Zankou in Los Angeles remain a golden period in the restaurant's history, a time when the Iskandrians' hard work and passion for food transformed a humble eatery into a beloved institution. Bedross Iskandrian was a pivotal figure in both the Zankou chicken empire and the Armenian community in Los Angeles. Born into the Iskandrian family in Lebanon, he grew up immersed in the rich cultural traditions of his Armenian heritage. His parents, Varts and Marguerite Iskandrian, had built a successful business with the original Zankou chicken restaurant in Beirut, and Bedross was deeply influenced by their entrepreneurial spirit and dedication to preserving their cultural identity through food. When the Iskandrian family fled the violence of the Lebanese Civil War and resettled in Los Angeles in the early 1980s, Bedross played a key role in establishing the first Zankou chicken restaurant in the U.S. The Hollywood location, opened in 1984, was an instant success, and much of that success was attributed to Bedross's vision and leadership. He was not just a businessman but a man with a deep understanding of the power of food to connect people to their roots and to each other. Bedross was responsible for maintaining the high standards that made Zankou chicken famous. He insisted on using only the freshest ingredients and traditional recipes, ensuring that each dish served was a reflection of the family's heritage. This dedication to authenticity resonated with the Armenian diaspora in Los Angeles, who found in Zankou a taste of home, as well as with a broader audience who came to appreciate the bold flavors and quality of the food. Beyond his role in the family business, Bedross was a respected member of the Armenian community. He was seen as a bridge between the old world and the new, helping to preserve Armenian culture in a city far from the homeland. He supported various community initiatives and was known for his generosity, often donating food to community events and helping fellow Armenians who were struggling to establish themselves in the U.S. Despite his outward success, Bedross's life was marked by inner turmoil. As the business grew, so did the pressures of managing a rapidly expanding empire, and the responsibilities began to take a toll on him. There were reports of tension within the family over the future direction of the Zankou chicken chain, with Bedross bearing much of the burden of these conflicts. According to some accounts, he struggled with depression and other mental health issues, exacerbated by the stress of his role as the head of the family business. Bedross Iskandrian's struggles with cancer were a significant and painful chapter in his life, deeply affecting both him and his family. According to Mark Arax's detailed account in Los Angeles Magazine, Bedross was diagnosed with terminal cancer in the late 1990s. This diagnosis came at a time when he was already under immense pressure from running the rapidly expanding Zankou chicken business and managing family dynamics that were becoming increasingly strained. Bedross's battle with cancer was particularly challenging because it came on the heels of the family's success in establishing Zankou chicken as a beloved Los Angeles institution. He had dedicated much of his life to building and maintaining the restaurant chain, but the cancer diagnosis forced him to confront his mortality and the possibility that he might not be there to see the business through its future growth. The physical and emotional toll of the disease was severe. Bedross underwent aggressive treatments in an attempt to combat the cancer, but the prognosis remained grim. This added a layer of despair to an already difficult situation, as he grappled with the reality of his declining health while still feeling the weight of his responsibilities to his family and the business. Arax's article paints a picture of a man who, despite his external success, was deeply isolated and struggling internally with both his illness and the pressures of his role as the head of the Iskandrian family. The cancer not only affected Bedross's physical health but also exacerbated his mental and emotional struggles. Arax notes that Mardros began to exhibit signs of severe depression and possibly other mental health issues as he faced the inevitable progression of his illness. This decline in his mental state, coupled with the physical pain of the cancer, contributed to a sense of hopelessness and despair. Mardros's illness also intensified existing tensions within the family. Disagreements over the future of Zankou chicken and how to handle the business in light of Mardros's condition created further strain. The family found themselves in a difficult position, trying to support Mardros through his illness while also preparing for a future that was becoming increasingly uncertain. In the end, Mardros's battle with cancer, as chronicled by Mark Arax, was a key factor in the tragic events that unfolded on January 14, 2003. The combination of physical suffering, mental health struggles, and family pressures culminated in the devastating decision to take the lives of his mother, Marguerite, his sister, Zovig, and ultimately, his own. Mardros Iskenderian's struggle with cancer is a poignant reminder of the fragility of life, even for those who appear strong and successful on the outside. It highlights the deep pain that can lie beneath the surface, pain that, in Mardros's case, tragically overshadowed his many achievements and contributions to his family and community. On January 14, 2003, the day began quietly at the Iskenderian family home in Toluca Lake, an affluent neighborhood in Los Angeles. Mardros Iskenderian, battling terminal cancer and struggling with profound mental and emotional distress, arrived at the house to visit his sister, Zovig Margic Iskenderian. The atmosphere was calm, and the two siblings initially engaged in a friendly conversation, perhaps discussing everyday matters or catching up on family news. Despite the underlying tensions that had been simmering for months, there was no immediate sign of the tragedy that was about to unfold. As they talked, there was no argument, no escalation of emotions. It was, by all appearances, a typical interaction between a brother and sister. However, the weight of Mardros's illness, the mounting pressures of the family business, and his deteriorating mental health lingered beneath the surface, unseen and unspoken. At some point during their conversation, Marguerite Iskenderian, their mother, arrived home. Her presence marked a shift in the day's events. As soon as Marguerite entered the house, the situation changed drastically and tragically. Without warning or any further exchange, Mardros, in a moment of overwhelming despair, retrieved a handgun. In a sudden and horrific act, Mardros shot his mother, Marguerite, and then turned the gun on his sister, Zovig. The shootings happened quickly, with no time for either Marguerite or Zovig to react or understand what was happening. The violence was swift, shocking, and fatal. After killing his mother and sister, Mardros turned the gun on himself, ending his life in the same place where he had just taken two others. The calm that had existed moments earlier was replaced by an unimaginable tragedy. When police arrived, they found the three bodies inside the home, a scene of devastating loss that defied explanation. The Iskenderian family, once united by their shared struggles and successes, was torn apart in an instant, leaving the Los Angeles community in shock. The tragedy of that day remains a haunting chapter in the history of the Iskenderian family. Mardros's actions were not preceded by a heated argument or confrontation, but by a quiet, almost deceptive calm that made the violence that followed all the more incomprehensible. The events of January 14, 2003, are a stark reminder of how deeply hidden pain and unresolved anguish can lead to actions that forever alter the lives of those involved. In the aftermath, the surviving members of the Iskenderian family, as well as the broader community, were left to grapple with the loss and the reasons behind such a horrific act. The Zankou chicken chain, despite the tragedy, continued to operate, but the legacy of that day would forever shadow the business and those who knew and loved the Iskenderians. The events of January 14, 2003, remain a somber reminder of the profound impact that illness, mental health struggles, and unresolved family tensions can have on even the most successful and seemingly close-knit families. The news of the murders stunned the Los Angeles community, especially the Armenian American community, who knew the Iskenderians as a pillar of success and cultural pride. The family that had built a beloved restaurant chain from the ground up, a symbol of the immigrant success story, was now at the center of a heartbreaking and incomprehensible crime. Thanks for listening to the first episode of Mysteries on the Menu from AI True Crime. Our next episode in this special series is all about a TV chef's fall from grace.